colleagues, friends, what a privilege and a delight it is for me to be here today to address this fantastic gathering. And a huge thank you to all of you for being here. You know, Chesterfield is the largest May Day demonstration outside of London, and you should be very proud of that. I'm also delighted to share this platform with some fantastic speakers, good comrades. Let me make a special mention to Christine Peace. Christine, I want to thank you for all the work and our comrades in Aubrey do, fighting for truth and justice. And I can tell you, as somebody who's been involved in the Hillsborough campaign, you will achieve justice, it will prevail. Christine, of course, is also our candidate in the North East Derbyshire constituency. And what a difference she'll make from the one that we had previously, Natasha Engel. Someone who sided with a bully boss, an anti-trade union boss, in order to support fracking. What a disgrace. And no wonder we lost that seat the first time in 1930s. I look forward to when this government starts to crumble and we have a general election. I look forward to North East Derbyshire coming back to Labour. And also let me mention Sonia Ward, another great woman, a powerful woman in the Mansfield constituency. I've got no doubt that come that election, we will have that particular constituency back with Labour as well. Powerful women, because a woman's place is in her trade union and in the Labour movement. And I say to everybody here, sisters and brothers, colleagues, your friends and family, you should encourage them to join a union. Whatever union is the appropriate union, join it. Even if you're unemployed, come and join Unite. From 16 to 116, you can join our community branch, which has done such a fantastic job of work throughout our nation. Be in our movement, fighting for what we believe in. I'm also very proud to be in the constituency of one of my heroes, Tony Benn, who was much revered. And incidentally, comrades, what a pleasure it was for me this morning to meet with an old friend, Dennis Skinner, another hero of ours. Dennis represents everything that is good in our movements, and Tony believed in people power. He believed in process, and that's precisely what we're doing today. Like millions of workers across the world, we are out on the streets celebrating what we believe in, and sending a clear message to this government. Our message is, we've had enough of austerity. We're not standing up for it again. Colleagues, let's just remind ourselves where this austerity came from. Who were the ones to blame for the crash 10 years ago? It wasn't nurses and teachers, it was the spivs and the speculators, the same greedy bastards that won't pay their taxes now. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they attack public sector workers? How dare these Tory MPs and right-wing media try to demonise public sector workers? Public sector workers are the people who teach our kids, who heal our sick, who look after our vulnerable and our elderly, who clean our streets and collect our refuse, the people who create the very fabric of the communities that we live in. And they do not deserve to be attacked in the manner that they do. The truth is, of course, and we've been telling consecutive governments, including Labour governments, for 10 years that austerity doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. You can't cut your way out of a recession. The reality is just last month we had stagnant growth in the economy. The first time for 5 years it's on a downward trajectory. All it gives us is food banks, and as James said, a tax on our community. A tax on the Derbyshire Unemployed Workers Centre, which has helped thousands and thousands of our people. And I urge you to sign the petitions that are going around at the moment. Of course, that's what the Tory values are: attacking ordinary working people, introducing that scourge in our economy of 0 hours and agency labour. Not far from here, best example, Sports Direct. What a disgraceful situation there. How can we, in 21st century Britain, the 5th richest country in the world, how can we have a situation where workers are exploited? And I want to thank my members and the community branches in particular who played a fantastic role in highlighting those injustices. We had a young woman who was so afraid of losing her job and afraid of losing her accommodation, actually gave birth in the toilets rather than go off to have her child. What kind of a disgraceful Britain do these Tories look for? Always putting profit before people. Now, fortunately, we have a leader in Jeremy Corbyn who offers us hope for our young people. You know, it was Tony Benn who said that hope is the fuel of progress, while fear places us in prison. And that's what these establishment hacks in the media want to try and do. They want to create fear to submit us to not fighting back. Fear against the alternative of a genuine, decent society, a fair one to live in. And that's why they attack Corbyn, a decent, honourable man, day in, day out. And it's an absolute disgrace. Unfortunately, they are aided and abetted by some within our own ranks, which is shameful. Now, let me tell you a little secret. I don't really like attacking right-wing Labour MPs. Well, not that much anyway. But the truth is, sometimes you just can't help it. Look at this Chuckeramuna on the front page of the Times on Saturday, demanding an inquiry into what happened to Labour's council elections, demanding the NEC set up an inquiry to this so-called disaster. I got a call this morning from the chair of the Labour Party who told me that Chucker was a banker. At least I think that's what he said. It was a bad line. But I've got a message for Chucker if he wants an inquiry. Labour had their biggest vote in London since 1971. The Tory Thatcher's favourite borough in Wandsworth, we took 7 seats and were 141 votes away from actually taking control of the council. We won Plymouth from the Tories. The Tory flagship in the north is Trafford. They lost it, and Labour is the largest party there now. In 2014, Labour achieved their high watermark of councils, the best that they've ever done. Well, we beat it this time. So, Chucker, there's your independent inquiry. Shove it where it doesn't hurt. And instead of siding with our enemies, instead of undermining Labour's leadership, instead, why don't you support what we stand for? Support the working people that you have a privilege to represent. And get out and fight for our values. Because, comrades, that's precisely what we are here for. We're here to make certain that we're fighting for a better Britain, a better society, a better Europe, better world. That is what we stand for. Before I leave you, let me just give you two quick examples from studies that have been done by Oxfam. They found that 8 billionaires, just 8 billionaires, own more wealth than 50% of the world's population. Unbelievable, isn't it? Here's another fact that they come up with. The earnings of the top 100 billionaires for 1 year, their earnings, not their wealth, their earnings for 1 year would eradicate extreme world poverty. Those tragic scenes we see on our television of young babies dying of malnutrition and mothers and fathers looking vacant because they're impotent to stop it, vanished with the earnings of 100 billionaires for 1 year. What kind of a world? And that's what these Tories actually stand for. That's what they believe in, inequality. We are the opposite, and I just want to leave you with this message. Please believe in your values. Believe in what we stand for, of fairness, of decency, of justice. Have the strength to know that people power can actually move mountains. My experience tells me that when working people join our hands across nations and across oceans, anything is possible. It is our time now. It's time to end 0-hour contracts and create decent well-paid jobs. It's time to invest in our communities. It's time to save our National Health Service. It's time to give our children some hope. It's time for Labour. It's time for the many, not the few. Thank you very much.